Morning, everybody, and my two kids. I hope you watch this one day. Today is October 7th, 2022. I want to talk about the concept of freedom and what it means to me. There's several things that are running through my mind, and like all the other videos I've recorded so far, I do not have anything scripted beforehand. I've put about a minute worth of thought into this one, which is a minute worth more than I've put into the other videos so far. But when I think about the word freedom, I think about it from two perspectives. One, what my freedom looks like and how that helps me live my life, and what it means for other people to have their freedom as well. So real quickly, when I think of freedom, I think of the ability to do things that I want to do without being coerced within the framework of the legal system. And we live in a country where the legal system works for us. It doesn't work perfectly, and it's definitely a system. And any system that you find can be hacked, it can be cheated. I don't care what system it is, whether it's in politics or in business or in school. You know that, let's take school for an example. In school, you are not taught how to determine the validity and the truth of what you're hearing. You are taught how to please your teachers. That is what you're actually learning. And they make you memorize facts and statistics and formulas. You're going to forget most of that by the time you're out of high school, or probably even while you're in high school. And college is just more of the same, learning how to please your teacher. And that is a definite system of rules, regulations, deadlines, etc. And within any system, you have freedoms. You have the ability to operate how you see fit. And if you operate outside of the system, then there are consequences. And that's how freedom should work, within a framework of guidelines and rules, that if you fall outside of those, there are going to be consequences. So some of the things that I've done in the name of freedom were to show up at some rallies in Utah County and just show up. I didn't have a sign. I didn't yell out and scream or go crazy. I was just there to show my support for the person who is speaking. Another thing I've done to help promote freedom is to become a delegate for our local area. There's hundreds of delegates in each state. So me being a delegate was an appointed or voted on position. And I like doing that sort of thing in our local area. And when I look at freedom from someone else's perspective, I want to allow them to have as much freedom as they possibly can that doesn't infringe on my freedoms. So freedom is a two-way street. I have to have freedom, and I have to let the other person have freedom, but there has to be boundaries for that freedom to operate within. And that's what government is supposed to do, is to protect the citizens from the government overstepping its authority. And the government gets its authority from us, the citizens, because we vote those people into office. We show up at the polls, we do our part to vote, and our vote does count. I have not voted in every election. By the time when I turned 18, I didn't care. Now that I'm 40, I care a lot more. And I like being involved and understanding the principles that all of the candidates are standing for. And it's tricky and it's hard work, but you need to do it if you want to preserve your freedoms. And that's why I'm doing this, is so that one day when you are grown up and have the ability to operate within a much broader set of rules and regulations, when I'm not around, or when you move out of the house, you will have to act for yourself. And so, as your parent, Mom and I are trying to give you as many opportunities as possible to learn how to control your urges and your passions and to put them to good use and to be engaged in good things. We're not perfect at that, but I love living in America. I love the fact that our founding fathers read the Bible. They believed in God. Our country is founded on principles that they took from reading the Bible and studying other forms of government, Republican forms of government, democratic forms of government, monarchies, fascists, etc. They looked at all those because all of those forms of government have existed in some form or another for thousands of years. So it's not like the Constitution that they wrote and the independence of America were just invented out of thin air. They had things to look at and study that helped them set up the form of government which we have, which is a constitutional democratic republic. The Democrat part is the part where we have a voice. We get to vote. Everybody gets to vote. The republic part is where we have representatives that we vote into office who vote on the laws and regulations that govern our society. And the Constitution is the framework within which they are supposed to operate. They don't always do that. So those are my thoughts on freedom